All right, guys, it's day 21. It's January 22nd. Hope everyone's feeling good um, at this particular point. Um, Futures are higher. You know the drill. Take a look at disclosure. Let's get into it. All right, guys, sorry about the glare in here in the morning. If it's weird, let me see if I can put this on if it helps. Yeah, a little bit. You guys don't really need to see my face anyway. Just need to see the charts. Who is this red dog? You don't need me. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. It's definitely been a tough week. You came in on Tuesday, with the Trump rhetoric about Greenland, and bottom line is, this happened. You had a big gap down, and then on yesterday, there was a trade there, but before, the whole, framework of peace or framework of no military action, and then all of a sudden it pushed in, filled the gap, and then he did come out and gave the framework, and you had about an hour to figure out what you wanted to do. Did you want to cover shorts? Did you want to get longer? Did you want to still be flexible? Whatever it was. So for me, I still have a bunch of names, that I've been, managing and trying to stay with. And I did buy some Q calls in the last 15 minutes because I'm like, if we gap up and everyone reads into this that there's no more tariffs on Europe and this and that, let me just buy some Q calls. So anyway, I didn't do SPY calls. But the SPYs right now are 689.23 above 688.74. I would definitely sell some. I don't know if you could short it here or fade it here. It's a hard buy in the first 15, 30 minutes, I'm sure. We still have the 830 number. It's 822 to see how things hold up. I don't think we're all of a sudden going to take out all-time highs and just have a crazy move, but who the hell knows what's going to happen? All I know is you want to play these ranges. That's what's been the prudent way to do it. So if you're long some things, trim. If you feel like you want to do a cute short because you feel like it's come a long way since the Tuesday lows, which it has. It came from 676 to 679 through the 50-day. It's up here right now. So we'll see. Qs. I feel like Trader Mike. I'm kidding. On the VTF, I'm in a lot of options, more than I wanted. I got filled at the end of the day because it came in. I'm hoping that it stays above 621 and by 9:30, so this way I could sell at least 75% and hold some. It's above 620.42, the same way the SPYs are above that high. Probably be more prudent to trim than to just buy it outright. IWM held the 8-day, which is healthier on Tuesday, and then made a new high. Can't be upset about that. XLE, I'm only back in tier 1. It was my biggest ETF position in the calls, which I've gone over a bunch of times with you guys, and you have to sell into some strength. About a month ago, I said I think we're going to see 50 plus, and here we are. We hit 49.05, and chances are I still think we see 50 plus. You just have to trade it. So with that being said, pick and choose your battles, pick and choose your levels. Let's see, Poet. Direct offering of common shares. A direct offering is what? That's where there's a price, right? Not a what's it called? Not the money. All right, so Poet just did that. So anyway, Poet's down 48 cents. So anyway, so let's move on. In just high beta tech land or Mag 7 land, Google's still the best. If you bought it yesterday, you deserve to get paid. It was upgraded this morning, trim and trail. Again, I went with no Mag 7s. I just went straight up Qs. But some of these things, if you pick and choose the right stock, it's better. What's Google doing? It's up almost the same. So anyway, 334 trim, see if it holds the prior high. So bottom line is everything's above yesterday's highs. You trim some into strength and then see if it holds it, and then manage your stuff. Google looks decent. Meta, first time, participated in a little bit where if you were long some, congratulations. Trim into 623. That's just a day and a half trade. See if it pauses here and then goes through. We'll see. Some guys bought Netflix. We talked about it being 38% off highs into this 81 area. If you bought it versus that low, congratulations. It's not a barn burner, but chances are, you might get another trade here if it, wants to fill this gap. Up to you. It shouldn't be an over focus. It's just some little piece of business. Everything's like a little piece of business these days. That's 85.50. Anyway, does it get above this spot? It's down a little, and there's some room here. This actually is 88-ish, not 89-ish. I was wrong. 88-ish. Thanks. So anyway, that's that. Um, Tesla isn't, participated yesterday too. So if you're in anything that participated yesterday, then you deserve to get a little paid. 438 is going to be resistance, then 445. Whereas Tesla right now, you know, Tesla is it's up 5. So it's a little bit below 438. I would not be buying it. First time it goes there, maybe it kisses it and backs off. But if it doesn't pull back, perhaps it punches through. We'll see. We'll see that on everything. Um, Nvidia is hard. I got stopped out the day before and then went up a little bit. You know, Nvidia is up a $1.50. Not crazy, but and actually this is below yesterday's high, so it's lagging a little. So we'll see how that goes. 100 million by the share count equals 7.25. All right, so we'll be buying 7.25 maybe. Thank you. So anyway, so yeah, so 185. AMD. Some guys like Red Dog watching AMD. I just haven't been trading it. And if you are, congratulations. Something like how could you have traded? Like if just say you didn't want to be like hyper focused on AMD and you just want to have a swing. I've done some lessons on obviously gaps, and Mike always puts it out there for you guys. So you could have been long verse 194. This is a huge gap, or there was a gap that started January 13th. You could have been long verse if you wanted, a little bit of time, and now all of a sudden here you are near 267. That's how you put a swing trade on, and don't over hyper manage it. Just have enough shares where it doesn't really matter to you much. Same thing with some people did that with they did it with MU. MU had a big gap up here. If you just said, I'm not going to look at it, I don't care how much money I'm up, I'm just going to be long versus 246, and you bought it the day after, look at you. Up here, probably trim. Most of the cute guys are all going to try and short it today, and there could be some money there today, short. I hear you. I would not be buying MU today. If you want to look short, just make sure you know what you could do and know what you can handle. And it's got it's the high here is what? This is 394. Sorry, this is the wrong number here. 394. Definitely trim some. If you're long some, you got to trim some. If you're in it as a swing and you're like, I'm not managing it with share size, then that's a whole nother story. But again, even if you haven't done it since, I would say do it. This is your time. 1, 2, 3, fourth up day. Definitely trim some there. The other one that's been moving with it is SanDisk. Same thing. Wow. If you just bought it here at 284 and said, I'm not going to sell it unless it breaks the 8-day, hopefully you followed your rules. If that's your rule, that's your trade, congratulations. Not easy to do. It's opening above this. Again, trim and trail. I think there are guys out there who've been trying to do a cute short. Some of them started here and they're blown out of the water. Some started here. If you haven't started at all and you think you're in the casino and you watch it and you see the roulette table and you're like, woo, look at this. 8 blacks in a row. There's a big crowd around it and they're all going red. I don't have to take their pain. Just know there could always be a few more blacks before the red. But anyway, that's that. ASTS a little loose and wide, but they're all saying that Amazon could be a friend in the business of satellites, not a foe. So it's back up here. I would not be chasing it, but in time, it looks like they're still coming after it. Rocket Labs, something blew up last night. People were talking about it all over the internet. It's down too. I'd probably think at 85 from 99, it probably needs time. But if you think that, this stock is one of your names that's going to be one of the, the growth names of the future world in space, then, into weakness is when you want to buy options. Sometimes you want to buy stock into strength and trade around it, but into weakness is when you get to buy on the bid and, accumulate a little bit with a thought that maybe it gets better. So maybe that's what you want to do here. 82-ish is a spot. Maybe I'll buy the $100 calls and I'll go out a month. I'll see what the price is. As far as like the drones, ONDS, it's sloppy in it, but it's fine. You just haven't been able to buy any strength. As long as it holds 1180, looks good. It's up a little bit. It's at 13. Needs time. Stock went from 980 to 15. That's up 60%. Let it rebuild. So if you bought too many of them in the hole, then trim some and continue to manage your size. RDW is definitely annoying, but it also did give you a move from, we were buying it in the 7s to 12. That's like almost a 50% move, so have some perspective. I did add some into here. I like to see it hold this 950 and go sideways. It's not acting special. It's just you have a narrative there, you have a narrative. Same thing with JOBY. This was a nice 2-day move, and then it's been just trickling. Maybe it needs news. I don't know what it needs, but just know what size you have. If you have too much size and it's taking you away from everything else, then reduce some and wait for it to really start acting better, because it hasn't yet. It's only been a buy on dips and make, and just manage it. QS kind of similar. Like, there are guys who've been trying to buy it the whole way down and it hasn't acted well. Then finally it poked its head above this downtrend. That was your day. If you were buying options, maybe, you just got paid also. I bought options 2 days ago in the stock, and we'll see if it acts better. Fib says it's a big event in February. It's January 22nd, so I went out to mid-February and I participated. So we'll see. And then again, you have all the little ones. So someone said, hey, look at RR Red Dog. BlackRock is accumulating it, and they have bought a lot of shares. They were buying it yesterday too. So maybe they think this has got a bigger future. So I'm long it, and we'll see how it goes. Above the moving averages, so technically it's looking decent. This is 483. Maybe it continues. I'm going to try and stay with this one a little bit longer now. We did very well with this stock last year, and now maybe it gets reborn again. Open, some think that the president actually put off the crypto bill because he wants to focus on affordability and housing, and the guys out there all think that's going to be good for open. So I have a lot of calls. If it starts acting better, if it gets above this little area, maybe I'll buy some shares, but I did add up more options just because I didn't want to be and what's the word? I don't want to be whipped around by my P&L and the shares and the options. I don't really look at as much, but we'll see. Could be good if it goes. And then it's just a concept play that's building. Some guys love it. There's some kind of spectrum deal that is going to be listed in February, so I bought some March calls in case they think if they're involved and they get the deal, it could be 20 plus. So that's why I'm in that. Someone asked me. Silver and gold. I bought some puts just to have as a cute trade. Much more money in there long. I just don't know if there's that much more money in there long from here. So I did buy some puts and I sold some. I'm still in some. I have like half, and we'll see how it works out. I don't have a vendetta here. It's just something to do. Here's your 8-day. I think it's just as dangerous to buy up here as it is to play it short. So pick and choose which way you want to do it. You probably can make money both ways. Same thing with GLD. Trending. It's getting harder to make money long and harder to make money short. So what does that mean? It means you can get away from it. This was a great pattern here. That was an A setup. It went. And then we did it again. And then this was another great setup. Now it's just riding the 8-day. If you're in it and you want to stay in it, as long as it's above the 8-day, good for you. Congratulations. Which open calls? I have the $7 calls out a month. What are the Qs doing now? No, still hanging. All right, the Qs are still above this, which is good. It's post PCE. What was the PCE, guys? Anyone want to post it? What are the SPYs doing? SPYs are still up. So the SPYs are still up. The Qs are still up. Can they stay up till 9:30? What did the IWM do? Up $1.30, so it's still hanging in there. Apple, somebody said. What's going on with Apple? It's not doing a whole hell of a lot. PC delayed till 10, I thought. Oh, it is? Okay, so even better. So we get to, maybe not have that in the way. So as I said before, the crypto bill might not be happening until they said February or March. So that means, I don't know, it means if you're playing for it, fast money's probably like, it's still acting horrible. So I would think if you want to do something, just in case it's earlier, if they say it's not, if the crypto bill is going to be revisited in February or March, go out to mid-March, because sometimes it goes up in anticipation, and buy some 98 calls. What is that in IBIT land? If you think that you don't want to miss a move and you're sick of playing it in this stupid crappy range, which is what it's been, go buy like the $55 calls and go to, mid-March. So this way you don't have to worry about it. And then if it starts trading better, you can go with it. Just a thought. BMNR also, I got stopped out yesterday, and then it's still fine. It's down a little bit because of that. Maybe same thing here. Go out, and if you think that Tom Lee's going to turn it around and Ethereum's going to get better, well, go buy yourself like the $35 calls while it's lower and give yourself enough time so you don't have to worry about it. Just another thought. What else? Poet had an offering, which is what little companies do. It's been trading well. Some people said it's 7.25, which would be, I guess close to this area. I'm in small. I have some options. Chances are it's not going to work now. It is what it is. Um, could set up for a better move in months from now when they don't have to raise any more money. And it's been one of those weeks. I lost a lot of money also on Tuesday. Made a little bit of money back yesterday, and now today, hopefully, I could make a little bit more. If we can hang here, I did buy a lot of Q calls into the close, which I think some of you guys did with me. We'll see if those little guys kind of hold up and trade okay, and see what else this week brings us. Iron, okay, I didn't do iron. Iron to me is definitely rebuilding. The story's not over. It's up a buck 45 this morning. Got a little loose and wide yesterday, but still hanging in the game. Still in the game. Looks good. Iron, if you want to look at the shares, loose and wide. It's smack in the middle, kind of like looks like an ASTS, and at some point it probably takes out 57-ish. So just stay with it. Monica says the tech team is still working on the VTF. We'll see how that goes. I apologize. I'm just like you guys. I try and trade for a living. I get paid quarterly. Want to make sure that you guys have as much information as possible so you could, think clearly and trade alongside me. But hopefully, after seeing, I still post every single chart. In the morning, I do the morning call. You know my thoughts. You don't need to see me execute for you to execute yourself. Okay, what happens if Red Dog gets hit by a bus? Got to be able to do it on your own also. I'm here to teach you. I'm also here to hopefully make it easy for you to make money. But for me, I got to make money too. And, I know it's tricky to, lately. So, not having all the tools at your disposal, I really apologize. I wish I could help with that. The team is on it, and I'm sure it'll be fixed soon enough. So just take a deep breath, and if you can't trade because you can't see my positions, well, then you got to educate yourself and take some courses and ask for Path to Profits or Redler Ultimate Access. I've done all my courses in there, so you could really learn how I think and what I do and why I do it. Besides the levels and the charts. Anyway, appreciate you guys. I'll see you in a bit. It's 8:38.